Okay. And we're off. All right. Little paint session here on Tuesday evening. I'm like, what day of the week is it? Tuesday. Tuesday. And we're going to pick up where we left off. Which is painting the skin tone on these fast blade. But Amorite Army. Aha. Running out of this stuff. Okay, so skin tones. We'll be working on these 5 guys. They all have the same pose. And I've got 3 of the skin tones already done. So let's just do the other 2. Let's see, we got the creaky chair sound. I tried to fix it. I think these things just wear out no matter what. It's only when I shift from side to side, which unfortunately I do a fair amount of. Oh well. Right, so let's get our brushes. I'm sure our paint is half-ass dead. Let's see. That's okay. Okay, we can work with that. And black, okay, cool. All right, good. We'll try to use this as much as we can before we put more of it down. All right. So let's go ahead and do the little mix we got going on here, which is some of this red leather from Vallejo and the black. And we're just going to paint everything in this. So after we get all these faces done, we're going to do all these loincloth battle sarongs. I guess that's what it is. And oh, the shields. So the shields are apparently goat skin. And they're not, sometimes they're, they're just naturally finished in whatever the goat pattern it is. So I did take a look at some goat patterns today just to kind of get a feel for what it looks like. They're going to be very rustic looking. So they're not going to be unpainted. It's just going to be, whatever Middle Eastern goat patterns are going to be on here. And I got some ideas. And hopefully they'll translate well into this 15 millimeter surface. So we'll try that. I'm actually excited about trying that. And we'll see. We'll do one and we'll know if we're on the right path after doing one. But I want to do it last because it's the only variable. That way it's the only variable left. I don't want to do the goat shield first and go, man, it just doesn't look right. But it wouldn't be with any of the skin or any of the other stuff painted. So it's, I don't want to cut myself short, but I think I know what I'm going to try to do with them. So there he is, Joe Coton. Kelly Davis, welcome back. Which army tonight? Amorites, book 115. My first book 1 army. You're watching history unfold as I'm painting my first book 1 army. When I mention the Amorites, lots of people go, oh, the ones from the Bible. And I'm like, I guess. I'm not an Old Testament expert. I don't know. I guess so. They're the guys that when Joe's third dynasty of Ur fell apart, these guys moved in and took over. and they set up a bunch of city-states that eventually blossomed into something that was more memorable, like the Babylonians and stuff like that. So they're nomadic peoples that were tired of fumbling around in the desert for, 500 years. Forget 40 days. 500 years or whatever. Hundreds of years. I wouldn't want to live in the desert either. What do I have here? Do I have like a little paper cut? Oh my gosh, I do have a paper cut. I was wondering what was feeling weird on my finger. Yeah, so book one army. That's what we're doing. We should be working on these guys for the next month. Got to get these guys done by Huracan, whether or not there's a Huracan or not. We'll still get them done, so we're not going to start an army and then work on something else. And I'm pretty sure what the next army I'm going to do next is, but after that I do not know. So there's only a million options. So we'll see. I got plenty of time to think about it. Just like food, I'm eating one meal and I'm thinking about what the next meal I'm going to have. I'm painting this army and I'm not worried about this one. I'm worried about the next one I'm going to do. Well, not worried about it. Thinking about them. Salivating about it. How about that? This entire army all consists of Essex figures that have been around for, well, who knows how long. I guess they're from the 90s, mid 90s. So that would mean they'd be about 30 years old. Not that long. Not for me. I mean, I wasn't doing ancients back then, but and before I started working on these guys, I know I'd mentioned something about like I'm not sure if I'm going to do another book one army. I am. I'll do another book one army. It may not be a little while, but I'll do other stuff. These have turned out as I suspected, just like with doing the Irish or something like that. Guys that don't have a lot of fancy clothes and so forth. It's actually kind of a lot of fun painting these armies that on paper look like they wouldn't be any fun to paint, but they're not bad. Amorites in the Old Testament are described as powerful people of great stature, like the height of the cedars. Okay? Well, these guys are Essex figures, so they tend to be dwarfish. So, that's out. Essex figures tend to be short on the legs. They should tend to be short-legged. Like if you were going to buy clothes for them, they had like a 32 waist, they'd have like a 26 length. Maybe 24. They're short-legged. Look a little like children. It's just the style that they're not in. Yeah, our our group's resident Old Testament scholar is the one that's been holed up in a cave for a couple of years since the pandemic started, so he's not available to consult. No, I've read a bit about these guys, but I always get asked, are these the guys from the Old Testament? I don't know. They're the ones from Wikipedia. That's where I find out about stuff. And people think that Wikipedia is really inaccurate. Well, it is if you're looking up modern day events or controversial stuff, but this stuff happened, what would this be, 3,000 years ago? 4,000 years ago. It's not very controversial. Not controversial at all. Tell you how little I know about the Old Testament. When I was looking these guys up, I found out that they were like child sacrificers. I was reading about it and I'm like, well, that's pretty freaking cool because I'm going to build a little, I'll build like a, they had this child sacrificing, and then that Baal type god, like, what is it? Is it Tanit? I forget which one it is, but it's like the Carthaginian thing where they sacrifice children. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of, well, it's not cool because I don't believe in sacrificing any living creatures, much less children, but I could make like some kind of an idol. And then somebody corrected me, and I realized that I was actually confusing these guys with Ammonites. So there's no army list for the Ammonites, so to speak, that I know of. Maybe they get lumped into something else. But so then I started doing some other research on these guys, and I come across some crazy conspiracy Illuminati type site. Once I hear Illuminati, I'm like, I'm out. But about how the Amorites are, the Illuminati, and it's a conspiracy, this, and then there was the whole child sacrificing thing on that. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to build that idol though. That's I build one before I buy one. Don't go online and look for demonic idol or something like that. It wasn't even demonic. It was necessarily like whatever their god is, an idol, like in a miniature or something like that. That's right. And I don't want none of that stuff at my house. That's just bad juju. I don't believe in none of that stuff, but that's just bad. That's a bad idea. But I'm glad I found that out before I went and created it, because that would have sucked to spend, I don't know, 15 hours on it. It would have taken a while sculpting it and stuff out of green stuff. I really am quite the noob at using that stuff. I'm not opposed to doing more of it and getting a little bit better at it. Hell, I could only get better at it, but I need to do that after this army's done. So these guys' camp is going to be, I pulled it out the other day. There's going to be some camels just in the desert, and that's going to double as a baggage element for collision course when we play with these guys. So that's probably doing some more camps that are on the 40 by 40 size, because that way they can double as collision course baggage elements. So you follow a flat earther on Twitter who also believes giants walk the earth. He shows pictures of. Yeah, well, you can believe whatever you want, but some things are just too unbelievable. I actually work with it. He shows pictures of mountains sideways, and you can see faces. Yeah, well, some people are just in search of something to believe in. I'm not saying don't believe in anything. I'm just saying that, use your brain, You either evolved the brain or your creator gave it to you, but use it. You can believe in whatever you want as long as you don't hurt other people and in the process. Leave people alone. I actually work with a guy. True story. True story. That was a long time ago, man. This guy we're talking about dinosaurs and stuff like that. And he claims that, I never heard of this stuff before. I was probably, 30, close to 30, maybe late 20s when I ran into this guy. And he claims that there's no dinosaurs, because they didn't fit on the ark. Which, without missing a beat, I'm like, well, what up? Because I was into dinosaurs big time when I was like, 8, 9 years old, right? I mean, I would have had a literal cow if they would have had those Jurassic Park movies, you know. But yeah, they didn't have dinosaurs because they didn't fit on the ark. I'm like, well, without missing a beat, I hit them with, well, what about the water dinosaurs? Well, if they had too much water, and I'm like, there's some things we're just never going to know. We're just never going to know. But there's some things that never were, and humans and dinosaurs operating at the same time period is, not in my world did that happen. That's what my problem with supposedly science is. Just blows me away how some people can be so sure about some things. Like, oh, we found this new black hole. Well, how far away is it? Well, it's 5,000 light years away. Okay, so if you live to be 5,000 years old and you travel the speed of light, you would just start on your journey as a freaking baby, and just as you were dying, you'd be able to. No, you don't know. We don't even know what color shields the freaking Romans had, which was just the other day on this earth. We haven't found all the creatures that live at the bottom of the oceans, and you're worried about something that's that far away, supposedly? Come on, man, get another hobby. That doesn't make any sense, There's just some things we're just never going to know. And, that's fine. Those type of distances and ideas are just so out of the realm of the comprehensible. That's just like, there's no way you could figure that stuff out.